Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are having a great day so far. So today, before we get started, I just want to announce that this channel, as of the time this video is being uploaded, has reached over 100 subscribers. So I just wanted to take the time to thank you all for watching these videos, and I really hope that they're as helpful as I could possibly make them. I continue to receive comments on older videos as well, so I'm still getting around to answering most of them, or at least as much as I can. And I hope in the future to continue to find the time to continue making videos, as well as to continue providing helpful content to these communities. So with that being said, in today's video, I'm going to take a little bit of a step back in time. Currently, what we have on our desk here is an iPhone. It's actually not an iPhone. This is an iPod Touch, 4th generation. And if depth perception is working here, I can go ahead and select the settings app, and we can see it is currently on version 6.1.6. So today, I would like to go ahead and demonstrate how to jailbreak this device, as well as how to install some older applications on it so that we can go ahead and use it for music as well as YouTube and some other things. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So before we get started with this procedure, we are going to need a few things. And the first would be the device itself. So in this case, as I said before, we have an iPod Touch running 6.1.6. This is a 4th generation. We will also need a computer to tether it to. I have an old MacBook Pro that I'm going to be connecting this device directly into. However, you can also use a Windows machine for this process. You'll need a charging USB cord to connect the iPod to the computer. So that will be a standard Apple cord. However, in my case, I'll be using a generic one here. I believe this is a 13-pin connector. And we will also need an internet connection to download the software. So just as a word of caution, before you jailbreak any device, I'm not sure if I described this previously in other videos, but you do want to read up on what the jailbreak does and make sure that you are aware of what you're doing. You want to back up your device through iTunes or iCloud, as well as making sure that before this process, your device does not have a pass lock on it. And if it did, or if it does, it may be safe to remove the pass lock or to back up your data and then format the device first prior to implementing a jailbreak on the device. So all that being said, let's go ahead and go over to the computer and we can take a closer look at what we need to do. So currently I'm in an older 2012 MacBook Pro. The original versions of the exploit that I'm using here, which I'm highlighting here as well, did not work on these newer macOS iterations on OS X. So I'm going to be posting a link in the description for this updated version of this exploit. And we can go ahead and move our cursor over to the right to click on the 6.1.6 test zip. When we open that file from our downloads folder, we would be able to click on the tool. So let me go ahead and open the folder. I click on the P0sixspwn tool, and that will bring us over to the screen. After I plugged in the iPod to the side of the computer over here, we are greeted with the screen iPod Touch 4G with iOS 6.1.6. And currently the device is on and just plugged in. So we can go ahead and proceed with jailbreak by clicking on jailbreak. and the device should automatically restart. Showing that a restore is in progress and the restore is complete. You should not be hearing any car beeping noises when you do this process. And we continue to wait for a little bit. Now the device is rebooting. That chime indicates that it has been plugged into a computer. And let's see here. So waiting for the device once again to reboot. Remounting root. Sending the Cydia untethered payload to the device, and the device is now jailbroken, and it should be preparing to reboot automatically. And now we are at the original screen, plugging in the device to begin. So let's take a look here. Waiting for the device to reboot. Let's see. Okay, well, let's go ahead and slide to unlock. And after we have done so, go over to utilities. Nope, it's not there. Interesting. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, and now it looks like we were able to indeed load Cydia onto iOS 6.1.6. So previously, the Cydia application was not showing up, and there are a variety of troubleshooting steps that you can follow to make that work. However, what I did in my particular case is I needed to restore the iPod Touch through the Mac, and then after completely restoring it to the original firmware version without being jailbroken, I attempted the jailbreak again. However, this time I turned on Wi-Fi. So I'm not sure if that is a critical factor, but it's something to keep in mind when you're performing this jailbreak. So now that we have Cydia installed, we can go ahead and move on to some more of the fun things and preparing some applications. So when you initially open Cydia, you may be greeted with a page before this that would say that it's processing the system storage or the file system, or it's preparing the file system, something like that. But it may take a while to do that. In my particular case, it took maybe 5 minutes, something like that. And then the iPod automatically restarted, and I came back to the home screen and I swiped to unlock, and I was basically back at the front page where I was before. And then I went ahead and opened Cydia. So now that we've opened Cydia, this is giving us some information regarding who we are, which basically each one of these three choices would indicate the level of detail that you would like to see. So if you are just a user, a hacker, developer, etc., I'm just going to put on developer for now and click done and wait for Cydia to load. It's going to be updating its databases, updating its packages. I do not believe that Cydia is any longer supported, unfortunately. However, it will continue to update what it does have. And we can wait a moment until that is complete. So after that processing is complete, the first thing that we're going to go and do is go to sections. Actually, no. It's been a while since I've used Cydia. So we'll go over to manage and then sources. And then looking at the sources that we have here, we're going to add a new source. And that is going to be Cydia.invoxy play games .uk stroke beta, not beta. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I think that should be the correct source. And now it's going to update our sources. And now that's done, we will wait for it to load and bring us back to the main screen. So after that source has finished loading, you will be taken back to Cydia. And you can go ahead and select the Cydia repo here that we installed. If we go over to all packages and scroll down, we can reinstall the classic YouTube app by clicking install and then confirm and waiting for the app to be installed. After the app has finished installing, we can go ahead and return to Cydia. And if we are to go back to the home screen, we can now see that YouTube is available. However, if we attempt to open it, it will say that I cannot connect to YouTube. So we need to do a couple more things first before we are able to make this work. Let's go ahead and navigate back to Cydia and wait for it to load. We will go over to our sources, back to IPG's beta Cydia repo, and scrolling down, we have a tweak here called Tube Fixer for iOS. Now, what this essentially does is it allows the YouTube stock and App Store apps 3 through 5 to function again. It also serves as a way to disable the update nag on iOS 6 YouTube app. We will need to set our own API key in the preferences of the tweak to use Tube Fixer, which we are going to review in a bit here. So we'll click on modify in the top right corner, click on install, and then confirm to install this tweak. And once the tweak has finished installing, we can respring. And bring us back to the home screen for the next step. So right now I'm on a different device. I'm logged into my Google account and I am on the Google Cloud API library. And what we are going to need to do is, as we read in the description of the application, the tweak that we installed, we are going to need to generate an API key for our YouTube tweak. So scroll down on the Google Cloud homepage here until you reach YouTube Data API v3, and you can go ahead and select it. After creating your project, you will be brought to the YouTube Data API v3 page here, and you can go ahead and click Enable. After the page has finished loading, you can select Create Credentials. And then once you are brought to this page, previously it said that the API failed to load because of whatever reason. But if you continue refreshing, you should be able to come to this page and you should be able to select public data. So you could generate your own API key and then you can click Next, upon which your API key will be generated. You may need to copy the API key and send it or write it down or send it to your email or something so that you're able to just copy and paste it into the tweak in the next step. So we're back on the iPod Touch and we can go ahead and select Settings. Scroll down to the bottom where we see Tube Fixer, and then we can set Custom API Key to On, and this is where you're going to enter the API key that was generated in the previous step. So off camera I did some troubleshooting. However, if we navigate back to the YouTube application, it should be working at this point, as we can see some videos. So if you are continuing to get the message as of the time of this video, which is, we're in February, no, it's actually still January, sorry. January of 2024, this is still working. However, it can stop working at any time if this particular method does not work. But what I did to get around that problem, it said it can't connect to YouTube because Tube Fixer did not work, is I installed SSL Kill Switch 2 and I enabled it to disable certificate validation. And this is directly pulled from Julio Verne's repository on Cydia. So I'm going to open up my sources here, and there it is. So this particular tweak that was installed, SSL Kill Switch 2, it is built for iOS 13, however it works just fine on 6.1.6. So you should be able to get that working. And if we just run one of the YouTube videos here, some videos work, others don't. But you can go ahead and play around with it too and see which videos would work for you. But in any case, that's YouTube being at least semi-functional now on the iPod Touch 4. So the next repository that we're going to be adding by clicking Edit then Add is going to be Electamon's repo, so that we can install an application called Veteris. So this one would be yzu.mo/dev. Let's try installing that. Mo/dev. Okay. From there, it should update the sources. and then we can go ahead and return to Cydia. And there's Electamon's repo. Let's see. So after the repository has been added, we can start typing VET, and over here we have Veteris, which is a client for the Veteris server. We could go ahead, click on modify and install. And it looks like we have a dependency error. So whenever you receive a dependency error similar to modern iOS devices, you need to install the dependency package prior to installing whatever modification you're trying to install. So I'll be right back. So you can get the AppSync unified dependency from Kieran's repo, and that is cydia.acme.ai. If we go over to all packages, you could also search for this, but there is AppSync unified, and it's compatible with 6.1.6. So we can go ahead and install it. And after installing AppSync, we can go ahead and install Veteris. And once you have installed Veteris, you can see that the Veteris icon is now on the device. We should be able to select it and open it. And here's Veteris. Test post to see how the new system works. Featured applications, and it shows several older games. Also subdivides into categories, shows utilities, weather, applications. So you can use this app to go through these old applications and see what you would like to utilize. There is actually one that I'm looking for just to use as an example. And after searching, it looks like I found it. Let's see if I can install this. Just a little bit. There we go. Let's try installing the latest version here. It's going to take a little bit to download. And hopefully at this point you receive a message saying that your chosen application has installed successfully. So there's a lot of glare on the camera, but we can put it a little bit back, and there it is. Here's a game that I used to play. This really takes me back. Let's see if I could go back here. Spin the wheel. Warm up. Okay. Tap to start. Oh well. Oops. Yep. But yeah. Okay. I'm going to continue playing around with this and enjoying that. There are other tweaks that you can install on these older iOS versions to download music and videos and all different kinds of stuff. So if you have any requests, then please post them in the comments and I'll see what I could find, and hopefully we both can be led in the right direction with that. So anyway, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this information. A little bit of a look back in time to the devices that really started it all, basically. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.